Nevertheless, she persisted, even though my mind insisted on telling me that I would never amount to the expectations of a PWI. Entered college at one of my lows. My friend had passed away, but I was trying to be composed because who really hears black voices, black pain? My thoughts so black and my culture so sugar cane. This blackness was forced to entertain the microaggressions, mental health suppressions, but I believe we won't be put through anything we can't handle. I'm pre-optometry. Vision couldn't be more clear. Even though this path was wobbly, no one was going to stop me. Because even though I felt like an outlier, I understood the value of an anomaly, meaning we are all essential. We all made it to this university for a reason, so don't let anyone knock your credentials. Go ahead and unlock that potential after you figure out how to work Zoom, and never forget there's always room at the table and in the spaces you go. Because trust and believe, I would have never imagined to enter the spaces I have with this flow, with this fro. Oh, here we go again. I love to give you a timeline of me now versus then. Started at Woodbury Bunton Cobb, just moving in. Met my roommate who's now my sister, and we have so much in common except our favorite flavors of ramen. Audacious and LSAM directed me to connections. DRC helped me reflect on my past so that I could surpass all the barriers blocking me, a black woman from the middle class. Intersectionality was so important for me to encompass who I am. Went from feeling like a statistic to gathering the resources I needed to improve on my characteristics through research like Project Super. Night movers used to feel like Ubers, and we're still making more programs. I think, therefore I am. Authentic, inclusive, responsible, resilient, engaged. I'm a Douglas woman in today's day and age, and this is my stage, showing you how nevertheless she persisted.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jacquelyn Litt, and I am the Dean of Douglas College. On behalf of the Douglas community, the 2,700 current students, the 40,000 alumni, the Douglas staff, and the faculty around the university, welcome to Douglas College. To parents, grandparents, siblings, children, aunts, uncles, and other loved ones, congratulations to you too. Students, let's take this moment to acknowledge and thank all the people who have supported you on your journey to college. Bravo! We are honored today to be joined by Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, who, as you may know, has served as an international role model for women throughout her career. Senator Warren has made critical strides for women and for working families in many fields, including economics, education, and healthcare. The ideals that Senator Warren stands for, equity, advocacy, and access, are also the foundation of the Douglas mission. I'm so grateful to Senator Warren for offering her words of advice to each of you as you embark on this wonderful journey. I am thrilled also to welcome President Jonathan Holloway, the 21st president and the newest president just a couple months in of Rutgers University, to the stage today. A distinguished historian of the African American experience and a visionary leader, we welcome President Holloway as an advocate of women's education. While we never intended for your fall semester to take place remotely, our virtual format makes this new phase of your life no less special or exciting. You'll still have access to a whole new world of experiences and resources at Douglas and Rutgers. You come to college already having exhibited resiliency in very difficult times, and you forged on. Even when the road ahead seemed uncertain, you know strength, you know the power of action, you know what it means to act from your own voice. At Douglas, we know that these qualities, even though they're still emergent in you, will take you through these challenging times and really will take you through the rest of your life. At Douglas, you will sharpen these skills, and we will be standing next to you. So I use the words of poet and scholar Audre Lorde to get you started on this journey. And she writes, "I have come to believe over and over again that what is most important to me must be spoken, made verbal, and shared." We are in a moment of reckoning with the pattern damage of systemic racism and economic inequality in this nation. We're facing a pandemic that brings these inequities clearly to light. As difficult as these are, these crises are simultaneously an opportunity to forge your own leadership. The Douglas community takes Lorde's words to heart. We will vocalize our ambitions. We will constructively criticize that which we don't agree. And we will respectfully engage with those whose perspectives are different from our own. Our college theme, Amplify Her Voice, takes this even further. We strive to make your voices visible and to make the voices visible of women around the world who are not given the platform to speak about what is important to them. These voices will make Douglas and Rutgers the best places for equity, diversity, and inclusion. And through this plurality, you will become better situated to articulate your own values, take the action that you need, and take the action that the world needs. Together, we strive to be a community of learners that make real and meaningful contributions to a better world. Education is the foundation for these generative opportunities, but it's up to you to show up, if you will, to grasp the opportunities. In her address to Douglas, poet and scholar Adrienne Rich warned students to claim an education. Claiming means to reject accepted knowledge as truth, in distinction from receiving, in which you are the receptor of what others believe to be true. So taking all of this together, what are our goals for you at Douglas? Amplify your voice. Speak about what is important to you. Claim your education. You will not do this alone. And one day in the future, when you have completed your undergraduate journey and have joined the ranks of Douglas alumni, you may find yourself extending a hand to an incoming Douglas student with an offer to amplify her voice. This cycle of community, of women helping women, is central to the Douglas experience. Each day I am inspired by this community. I know that you will be as well. So congratulations again for joining the Douglas community. I look forward to learning and growing together with you in the coming years.
Hello, Douglas class of 2024. My name is Maggie Maniar, and I am honored to have the opportunity to speak to all of you today as your Douglas Student Body President and classmate. Let me start by saying that you have made an amazing choice in deciding to join Douglas. My journey with Douglas began when I decided to join the Douglas Governing Council in my first year of college. To be honest, when I joined, I had no idea what the organization really was. What I found was a group of students passionate about making change on campus. They had ideas that seemed too ambitious at times, but they were never afraid to give them a try. In my years at Douglas, we have been able to improve access to clean water in dorms on Douglas, to prompt Rutgers to provide free menstrual hygiene products in student center restrooms, and to maintain roads and streetlights for increased safety on campus. Working with such a strong group of people these past few years has changed my outlook on what we as students are able to accomplish. I'm sure that you've heard so many exciting things about Douglas already, but I'm also sure that it is hard to appreciate them when things today are so much different than you expected. The world we are living in is not ideal to any of us, but I believe that we are the ones who have the power to change it. In these next few years, I challenge you to do just that. Take time to think about COVID-19 and the lack of access to healthcare that so many people are facing. Take time to think about our nation's history of violence against Black people and how it persists today. Take time to think about climate change and the vulnerable communities it affects most. Take time to think about our world and what you can do to change it. And when it all gets too big, take time to ground yourself. Take time to get involved in your classes and with your classmates in Douglas student organizations. Take time to talk to the staff at Douglas, who will always be there for support when you need it. Take time to listen to leaders around you, like Senator Elizabeth Warren, who we have the great privilege of hearing from today. What I have learned from Douglas is that we are stronger as partners than as individuals. We are stronger when we uplift one another, collaborating instead of competing. I have learned that I can make a difference to others, no matter how small, when I focus my energy on something beyond myself. And I believe that with the knowledge you gain from Douglas, you too can do the same. I know these coming days and months and years are going to be unpredictable, but I can promise that when you look back on them, you're going to wish you could return to them. At the end of the day, our world needs the great minds that come from Douglas. We need the love and the passion that Douglas cultivates, and we need you. Congratulations on choosing Douglas. I wish you a great semester.
To the women of Douglas Residential College, as you begin your studies at a moment unlike any other in our lifetimes, I wish you a year of unimagined opportunity and possibility. In choosing Douglas, you have already put yourselves at a great advantage. You have around you and among you brilliant minds, bold hearts, and pioneering spirits. Douglas has always been a place of resistance, of challenge and change, of empowerment and leadership for women. Today, you are part of an incredible legacy of forming new leaders who make a difference, not just for themselves, but for the greater good. This year marked the centennial of women's suffrage in America. And yet, even before women in the United States were at last given the right to vote and full citizenship, Douglas was empowering women through higher education. Today's challenges are different, but no less urgent, and we need all of you to become the leaders who move our nation forward in the sciences, in healthcare, in public policy and economic development and environmental protection. We need your voices amplified in the public square. We need your intelligence and perseverance and passion and brilliance. As you begin this year at Douglas, you couldn't have a more inspiring voice to set the tone than the American leader I have the honor to introduce. Elizabeth Warren is herself a Rutgers degree holder, Rutgers Law School, Newark, class of 1976. She studied law there as a young mother, racing home from class to avoid paying overtime for the babysitter. It was at Rutgers that two professors helped shape her career trajectory, one who encouraged her to consider teaching law, and the other influenced her focus on consumer protection. And what a career she has had. Law professor, U.S. Senator, presidential candidate, and one of the thought leaders of our time. As a Harvard Law professor, she was asked by President Obama to chair a congressional oversight panel that led her to become one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. Now, as a senator representing the people of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren is a fearless consumer advocate who has made her life's work the fight for middle-class families. She is widely credited for the original thinking and political courage that led to the creation of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has protected millions of consumers from traps often hidden in mortgages, credit cards, and other financial products. Senator Warren is one of the nation's leading progressive voices, advocating for structural change to transform the economy and rebuild the middle class. In 2017, when speaking on the Senate floor against the confirmation of Jeff Sessions as U.S. Attorney General, she caused the Senate Majority Leader to utter the words that unwittingly became a rallying cry for women across the nation unwilling to be silenced. Nevertheless, she persisted. That quote became the theme last year at Douglas, which makes today's talk all the more meaningful. Warren's run for president, though it did not lead to a nomination, energized a huge following across the country, and her ideas continue to shape the national discussion. For all of these reasons and more, I'm delighted to introduce Rutgers graduate and U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Hello, Douglas. So, yeah, I'm not wearing my usual sweater or my usual jacket. In fact, I pulled out my academic robes, the ones that show me as a proud graduate of Rutgers. I wish that we could be together today. It would be such fun, but we know that's not possible. Even so, I wanted a chance to talk with you and to offer a very special welcoming message to the incoming class of 2024. Today is a very special day, but I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. This is a time of unprecedented crisis for our nation and for the entire world. Travel is restricted, businesses are closed, hospitals are jammed. Across this country, people are dying, hundreds a day, from an infectious disease that we could have had under control by now. Our economy is being squeezed to the breaking point, and the fight for racial justice has reached a new moment that demands bold action. This crisis has marked the beginning of a new chapter in your life with fear and uncertainty. And that truth is one we just can't ignore. But we are not without hope. This crisis shows us that the fight for justice across our basic systems is needed now more than ever. From housing to economic security and access to health care, the coronavirus pandemic has laid bare the deep inequities that persist in America. And that deeper revelation behind that truth gives me hope every day, because it means that the values and the sense of community that you will learn here at Douglas will be called upon like never before in your families, in your communities, and all across this nation. Now more than ever, we need women in positions of power with diverse lived experiences, women who will fight for bold ideas and have the confidence both to question and to listen. So my message to you today is this: use your experience to bring together people and find ways to make change in the world around you. Even though many of us are still practicing social distancing around the world, we can still do our part. And here's how. Staying safe does not mean we have to stay silent. So speak up about the issues you care about. And don't be afraid to call out injustice when you see it or experience it. Use social media to make connections with the ones you love and with those who are in need of credible information as disinformation about this time of crisis continues to spread. And take action. Support a cause or an organization that supports moving our families and our communities forward. One more. Vote. Make your voice heard. Leaders matter, especially in a time of crisis. Okay, and just one more. Try to find something, anything, to be grateful about every single day. We face an uphill battle, but here's what I know for sure. The only way we will make it is if we stand together, fight together, and yes, persist together. So stay connected and stay strong. We are all in this one together.
Thank you, Senator Warren. Hello, class of 2024. I am Arushi Goval, a chemical engineering major and women's studies minor, and a proud member of the Douglas class of 2022. As Senator Warren said, our generation must come together to face the challenges that stand in our way, and Douglas is the first step in bringing that community together towards that common goal. Within the last 2 years, I have served as a leader in the Riley Douglas Engineering Learning Living community, participated in Project Super as a STEM researcher, presented at the National Science Educators Conference, externed with Bristol Myers Squibb, served as a Red Pine ambassador, and interned with the Public Leadership Education Network in Washington, D.C. All of these opportunities are examples of just how much one person can do through the resources here at Douglas. By immersing yourself in the rich community within Douglas College, you will be empowered to combat the inequities that attempt to limit us, reach out of your comfort zone, and redraw the lines that may have constrained you in the past. You will naturally speak up, question the standards, and enact change. If there's one thing I've learned here at Douglas, no matter the struggle, you will persevere. You don't know how strong you are until you push your limits, because we are all more than capable. As you look adversity in its eyes, know you will persist, and the women at Douglas will be here to support you. Thank you, good luck class of 2024, and it's time to change the world.
Class of 2024, welcome to Douglas. My name is Sarah Rubiano, and I'm a proud Douglas woman majoring in public policy. Believe it or not, less than a year ago, I was in your shoes. College is a big adjustment for anyone, but this is especially true amidst a pandemic. For me, choosing Douglas allowed me to make life on the banks feel like home. This community has been instrumental in shaping me into the best version of myself and has shown me we are stronger together. Senator Elizabeth Warren has reminded us today that not only do we have a duty to stay active within our community at Rutgers, but also for our country. Despite the glass ceiling placed above her, she has persisted to be a catalyst for change. So must we all. Thank you, Senator Warren, for being an inspiration and reminding us of the power each of us have. Of course, speaking up is not always easy. You may notice something unethical, witness someone being intentionally excluded, or encounter offensive speech. So again, what can you do? Use your voice and raise awareness to the issues that matter most to you. What's the most straightforward way to use your voice over the next few months? Vote. As Senator Warren expressed, recognize your power at the ballot box. Be that spark. Advocate for yourself, your loved ones, and for those in your community who can't vote themselves. While this may not be how you envisioned embarking on your college journey, I want to remind you that you are not alone, and you're surrounded by a group of women who are here to cheer you on as you take on the world, whether in person or virtually. I'm excited for you, the class of 2024, and optimistic that we will meet the challenges we are facing with resilience, courage, and passion that Douglas has and continues to instill in all of us. And for you, it all starts today.
Hear our voices, alma mater, Douglas College L2B. Hearts in song now join together in a pledge of fealty. Though our future paths may sever, thoughts of golden college days in our hearts will live forever as a constant song.